Guys, William, Kayla, I have tea.
What's going on?
Mitchell is a girl now.
Yeah?
Mitchell, the guy, or I guess now girl, from the Aphrodite cabin.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a girl now.
Okay.
Okay? You have nothing more to add?
Why should I? If she told you that, I just hope she's happy.
Oh, Mitchell didn't tell me anything.
So, how do you know?
Because he was wearing a skirt. What?
Just because he was wearing a skirt doesn't mean he is a girl now.
But Mitchell...
Don't you dare give close a gender.
But why would he wear something like this?
Maybe because he likes it. Are we really talking about this? Nico, I knew you grew up in a different period, but you have lived long enough in this time to get stuff like this.
Yeah, I just wanted to include him and share some news.
Okay. How about we don't assume any genders or anything just based on the way someone looks, okay?
Yeah, makes sense.
Thanks. Good talk.
Can you pass me the butter, please?
Nico, can you give him the butter? It's closer to you.
Him? You mean Kayla, right?
Yes, I mean Kay. Could you give him the butter, please?
Did she? Traitor!
No, it's not the way you think it is.
How could it not be like that?
Because Kay didn't change his gender. Kay's gender fluid. So on some days, like today, he feels more like a boy, and on others more like a girl. And there are also some in-between days, but you said you don't really feel like in-between or no gender at all, correct?
Yeah, there are days when I feel like I can't choose at all. But then again, I do feel like shit anyways, so...
At least I can relate to the feeling like shit part. Is that the reason why you're wearing beanies in summer?
Yeah, you know, I don't want to cut my hair. I love my hair, especially on my girl days. But then again, on my boys' day, I do feel more comfortable hiding them. I also wear a binder to flatten my chest.
What is a binder? Like a folder you tape to your chest?
No, it's like a top, like a sports bra, but it's bigger and thicker and it makes your chest look flatter.
Where did you get that?
The internet, obviously. My favorite ones are the ones from GC2B, but there are cheaper ones out there.
Whoa. Is that safe?
Do you really think I would let him wear them if they weren't safe? They're pretty good, but of course you should give it a break after 8 hours of wearing.
But how do you know if you have a boy or a girl day?
I don't know, I feel it. And it's not linked to an entire day specifically either. It can change within an hour.
What? But how do you know that?
Well, how do you know that you're a boy?
I was born that way.
Well, and I was born feeling both ways from time to time.
But how? If nothing makes a gender, not clothes, not hobbies, not toys, then how can you still feel like a different gender? Then we're all the same, aren't we?
Hey Ghost King, I love your interest in the subject, and I'm sure Kay appreciates the questions. But I think that's something really hard to explain or empathize with if you've never experienced it yourself.
True.
Let's try to put it this way. On some days you feel weak or sad, or just something you don't feel that often, maybe like happiness. And no matter what you do, the feeling doesn't disappear. And there's no reason for it. And when you go to bed, the day is over and the feeling is gone the next day, you'll never know what made you feel that way. You just know what you felt.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do you know about Kay's name or preferred pronouns for the day or hour?
Basically because he told me a few months ago about his preferred name and pronouns on his boy days, and Kayla and with she, her for girl days.
She told you that months ago. I mean he.
Kinda.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I was afraid of your reaction.
And we know you don't cope well with change.
That's not true. Give me one example.
When McDonald's removed the sauce from their menu, which you didn't even like nor ever used, and then you went missing for 2 days, and when you came back you had McDonald's food in your arms, and we asked you where you've been, and you told us you shadow traveled to Switzerland because it was the only country left in the world who still had the sauce on their menu, which you didn't even like.
Okay, that was one tiny thing, and McDonald's is my safe space.
Or when they tried to replace one of the broken pillars from the dining pavilion, and you chained yourself to it so they couldn't replace it.
It was one of my favorite pillars, and it was so pretty.
It was broken. The whole dining pavilion could have collapsed, and they replaced it with an identical looking pillar.
But it's not the same pillar.
They look exactly the same.
Okay, but have you ever heard of the ship of Theseus?
Not that again.
Or the other time when Annabeth cut her hair and you snuck into her cabin to glue the old ones back on.
She looked better that way.
Nico.
Fine, maybe change isn't something I can deal with well, but you could have told me. I mean, it seems you're suffering under it if you're willing to sweat under a beanie for it.
Yes.
But you haven't answered my question yet.
Which one?
How do you know which pronouns he wants, like, right now?
Well, you know, we made a system. Green bracelet for he, him, and Kay, and pink bracelet for she, her, and Kayla, and yellow for no pronouns and only Kay. It's a little stereotypical, but it works pretty well.
And if I can't see the bracelets?
Ask or just give it a guess. I know that you aren't trying to be mean to me. So even if you do get it wrong, I'll just correct you.
Okay.
What is it?
I was just thinking. I feel like a lot of demigods are changing their gender identities these days. And you said it's like a feeling. But if so, this feeling must have existed for a very long time now, right? But back in my days, no one wasn't their birth gender.
That's not true. You remember the movie we watched? The Danish Girl?
Sure.
Lily Elbe lived from 1882 to 1931. That was literally your time. She was one of the first trans people who got surgery. Damn it.
But for her, it started with the clothes. You know, like the skirt, like I saw Mitchell today. Not bad.
Yes, it can start that way. But just because someone likes to wear certain clothes doesn't mean they want to change their gender or something like that.
This is so complicated, because Kay is wearing a certain look today to seem more masculine, but clothes don't make a gender, and just because of clothes, a gender doesn't change.
Ah, damn it. Nico, I feel like you overcomplicate stuff. Why is it all so important?
Because I want to understand it.
Why do you need to understand all of this?
Because it makes it okay. I don't like it when things don't make sense in my head, especially if they are important for someone I care about.
It's still about Kay, right?
But why can't he? Everything changes all the time. Why can't she stay the same?
I think that's why I was afraid of telling you. He doesn't want to hurt you.
I'm not hurt. Not about the thing. I'm hurt because he didn't trust me enough to fill me in.
He just wasn't comfortable enough. It's also new for him living out this whole thing. And the people around him aren't always nice.
But I would have been.
Sure, but you have a lot of questions. And with this topic, it's sometimes hard to give a satisfying answer. Especially because your brain loves logic and math, a clear rule. But sometimes, as uncomfortable as it is, there aren't such rules. Sometimes it's just a feeling which you will never feel.
Sure.
Good.
But
Nico!
Ouch!
William, wake up! I did some research. I know everything now. Wake up! I did some research. Wake up!
Is the camp on fire?
No.
And go to bed.
But I did some research. I know everything now, and I need to tell you.
I wish we had thrown you away with the pillar you chained yourself to.
What?
Nothing. So, what do you know?
You told me about Lily. So I looked it up in old history books, and you were right. Trans people existed like forever, but historians erased them, just like gay people. You can look it up.
Oh, gods.
For example, Louis XIV. You know the Sun King? A brother of yours? He was probably trans.
Okay, so it runs in the family, or what?
Oh, I haven't thought about that.
No, I don't care. Go to bed.
But anyway, I read about a boy who was born with deformed male body parts. They removed all of them and raised him as a girl. And he never felt right or even okay. Even without the male hormones, he tried to, end himself when he was only 10 years old. And it only got better when they told him about the whole situation and changed his gender back to male. I know that's different from Kay, but they made other studies about trans people.
Oh gods, Nico. What's the point? What are you trying to tell me?
That you were right. In the books they described the feeling of not being happy with your own body, but not like unhappy with the way you look, more like something is missing or wrong.
What's going on here?
Nico is a gender specialist now.
What? Scoot over.
I found out that you feel uncomfortable with your own body.
Well, who doesn't? But it's different and it's kind of more specific. For example, take my chest. On my boy days, I hate it, and I hate the way my voice sounds, and I hate my frame, and I hate my hair, and I hate everything so much I can barely stand it. But then on other days, I love my chest and it feels right that it's there, if that makes sense. And I love my voice and it's a very specific feeling. It's not like I feel like I'm too heavy or like my teeth aren't pretty enough. Obviously I felt ugly before in my life, but that's a different feeling and it's a lot less specific. I think another great example is like my period. I don't think anyone likes their period, but on my girl days I just get pissed off and want it to go away, but on my boys day it feels completely wrong and it just feels like this shit doesn't belong to me.
Oh, I see. I also read that a lot of trans people commit suicide because they can't take it anymore.
Well, I can imagine.
But how can you help with that?
I think just respect the person and their decision.
But circling back to Mitchell.
I'm gonna freak out. He was just wearing a skirt. Let it go.
But what if he's like Kay?
Kayla right now, if you don't mind.
Like Kayla, as I said. And Mitchell is just too afraid to tell us, and so is wearing skirts to tell us.
Okay, we learned today that clothes don't make a gender, but they can help someone to express their gender identity and to relieve gender dysphoria. But sometimes clothes are just fabric. And it's nice that you care, Nico, but maybe just go and ask him in a nice and safe environment and not in the middle of the night,
Yeah, sounds fair. But still one more thing.
I will never get to sleep again.
Still feels like an apocalypse of trans people at the moment. Not only Kayla and Mitchell.
You don't know about Mitchell.
But I know about other campers and people outside of camp.
Okay, 2 reasons, at least in my opinion. Firstly, it's a different century. It's a lot safer to be trans these days. Not everywhere, and America did a lot of horrible things this year, but still. Secondly, we are living in a time of social media and the internet. If you feel something strange, you can Google it, and often you can find an answer. Back in the days, you could have gone your whole life knowing something is wrong, but you couldn't put your finger on it. Or maybe you could, but who could you tell when you thought you were the only one in the world? Now you can find people who relate and feel the same way. Maybe you can even share some tips and tricks with one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess that's another reason why Pride Month is still so important. We are still fighting for the rights of our members, not only for gays or lesbians, but also for trans people. And I think it can help to find your place in a community.
Yes, now, bed. Sleep.
Yes.
Everyone in my bed again. Great.
Yeah, you're right, I need to go.
Okay.
Hey Mitchell,
Hi, Nico.
are you free right now or is it already too late?
It's not too late. Come on in. It's not too late. I mean, it's basically 8 p.m., so...
I know, but the kids in the Apollo cabin act like it's the middle of the night just because the sun is gone and they don't have any energy anymore.
We all have our weaknesses.
Not me though.
Weren't you the crazy kid who glued Annabeth's hair back on?
No, you must confuse me.
Sure. What did you want to talk about?
Well, I saw that you were wearing a skirt today, and I know clothes don't make a gender. No, wait. I'm doing it wrong. What are your preferred pronouns and Name.
You can keep calling me Mitchell. I accept every pronouns, and when I talk about myself, I use he, him. But if you feel more comfortable, I mean, you can use she, her, or they, them. I'm totally fine with that.
Oh, okay. But how and why?
Basically, I don't feel connected to any gender. I feel comfortable with my male sex body, but I don't need any validation from any pronouns. But I appreciate that you've asked. What about you?
Me?
Your preferred pronouns and name.
Nico. He, him?
You sure?
Yes, I'm just not used to saying it this way.
That's fine.
Should I always introduce myself like this from now on?
Difficult question. I'm sure it would help a lot, but it could also lead to some debates.
So what kind of compromise can we find then so everyone is happy?
Oh, Nico, you're asking questions. I'm not a gender specialist. I think the most important thing is to listen to people who want to tell you their name and pronouns and accept them. On the other hand, I think we shouldn't make enemies where you don't have any.
What do you mean?
Well, some kids find it funny to hate onto people who are hetero or cis. And I mean, I get the joke, but we have to be careful with that. Even though some of them put us down over the last decades, a lot of them also helped us to stand up for our rights and for us. And we really shouldn't put them all into the same pot.
Well, fair thing. So are we cool?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Mitchell, are you coming? We're doing nails and skincare.
I guess I have to go.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you could join us.
No, I don't think so. But thanks, Mitchell. I appreciate it. And I will kick your ass tomorrow and capture the flag.
We're actually in the same team now. Will asked us to join.
Oh gods, William! Okay then, we will kick asses tomorrow. See you then. Hey, sorry I hated you at the beginning. I guess certain things need to change so others don't fall apart.